Welcome everybody. I am Marilee Burnett, your tarot reader and astrologer, back again with the messages for the week of August 14th, 2023. And we're going to really specifically talk about the new moon in Leo coming up this week because it is basically going to consume our entire week's energy because there is so much going on. As the week begins, we are just coming off of Venus Cazimi. So Venus is when, or I should say Venus Cazimi is when Venus and the Sun are joined together, what we call conjunct, and that in the sign of Leo has really created a super surge of energy within all things related to Venus. And the Sun, of course, is what we want to be and feel successful. So these themes with Venus of love and money and beauty and values, as of Sunday, got a big boost of energy so that we can clearly see where we're misaligned with our values, where we need to put more time and attention to something that we love or used to love. Remember, Venus is in retrograde, so this is a big aha moment about, something in the past, something you learned in the past, something you've forgotten you loved from the past that you're getting a second chance at. And so you really want to take advantage of that energy because there is something that you saw on Sunday or felt or just had a knowing that at the time of the new moon on Wednesday, you want to make sure you are setting intentions to take advantage of it. So it's a pretty powerful week as we begin. And with the Sun, the Moon, and Venus all in Leo, there's a lot of passion, right? The lion is the symbol for Leo, and the lion has a big roar, and you'll likely hear it this week in a lot of ways, and that roar may actually come from women in general with that Venus retrograde, a woman that is in the spotlight that has been working on something and has been reviewing all the details and now may be ready to bring her creation to life. That's just one of many ways that this can show up, of course. But when you have the Sun and Moon meeting in the sign of Leo, again, this is a reset emotionally, right? So like the Sun and Venus met on Sunday and we call Cazimi, it's basically the same kind of energy when the Sun and Moon meet up every single month in a different sign, and you get that emotional reset, that cleansing of the moon by the Sun so that you can start again. Of course, there's no light on the moon because it's too close to the Sun. And in that darkness, in that blank slate, we have an opportunity to set our intentions. And then as the light of the moon grows, so do our intentions. Now, if you happen to have come to my Sip and Starch group over the weekend, we focus on this specifically. We talk about all the aspects of the sign of Leo and what you can focus on, what you can set your intentions on, how to create your wishes, know what house this happens in. And it's a really great time. So if you haven't joined one yet, come see us next month. The details are on my website and the link is down below. Also, if this is the first time you're coming to watch one of my videos or it's the first time to my channel, please subscribe. Really appreciate your participation as I share information each and every week. Love it if you'd give me a big thumbs up and of course share and invite your friends to participate in the messages each week as well. I love your comments. I love your feedback. I continue to learn and grow through you every week. So thank you for those who are listening today. So let's talk a little bit more about the other energies going on. So in the sign of Leo, This is about love, it's passion, it's all things that rule the heart. It's about our leadership. Remember, the lion rules Leo, so that of course the lion is a king. If you are somebody who has strong Leo energy, especially if it's your rising sign, you might have hair that looks like a lion's mane. You're very passionate, and fun is a priority for you. So Leo is the fifth house. The fifth house is ruled by the sun. So the sun is at home in the sign of Leo, making this an extremely potent new moon because the sun's at full strength here. So what do you want to make a part of your life now that is joyful and exciting and fun? Maybe it's something that reminds you of the joy you experienced as a child. There is an opportunity to have children. The fifth house does rule children. It rules our hobbies. It rules basically our creative gifts and skills. It rules romance. So if you're looking for those things, this is the time to set those intentions. Of course, we talked about Venus retrograde. So Venus is here. It's about 5 degrees away. It's still heading backwards. So that's why I keep mentioning that this might be the time to revive something that you were passionate about in the past, but you've just let get away from you. And now's the time to refocus your energy and intention on what it is that you love. Have something that's a priority for you and not just doing what other people love. So all of that's happening together in the sign of Leo. Then we have this interesting surprise element from the planet Uranus, who will be exactly square to the sun and the moon at 23 degrees of the sign of Taurus. This can be things involving weather, finances, surprises of all kinds. A square means that the surprise is going to cause you to change something. It may have you change your mind about a relationship. It may have you changing your mind about a job. There is just no knowing for sure when we have Uranus involved because it is erratic, it is eccentric, eclectic, it is freedom-seeking kind of energy. So if you're trapped, the thing about this new moon is you want to harness this energy to break you free from that trap. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've been noticing that we've gotten that, traditionally it's the Devil card, so many times over the past several weeks. And I think that's an indication of everybody feeling trapped in one way or another and needing to break free. And so here we are. Here's Uranus squaring to the sun and the moon. And it's saying, hey, if you want a new beginning, you got to break free from doing what you keep doing the same way over and over and over again. So we have that element there, loud and clear, going to help you break free. Now, Venus and Uranus met up as that planet was going forward within the past few weeks. And at that time, you may have gotten an inkling into what it is that you need to make a change. Well, now you're getting a second chance really to look again at that, look further, look deeper into it, and you'll get one final chance at the end of September when these two planets meet again. Venus will be moving forward, Uranus will be moving backwards. So there's definitely a story that's still being told here between these planets. We have the planet Mars providing fuel to Uranus. This is a time where you just need to be cautious because it can make us a little too carefree, can make us a little accident prone. It's positive, right? This is a trine between the planet Mars and Virgo and between Taurus and Uranus there. So both earth energies, but it can also kind of maybe shake up the earth a little bit, making you stumble and fall, right? It is holding your feet to the ground and you're trying to move too quickly, for instance, and it can cause you to fall. So that's just a cautionary tale, just to be wary of that. That energy will stick with us all week. So it's just something to be cautious of. Be prepared. If you're out hiking, think about, lightning storms. This is earth energy. These are shakeups like earthquakes, or you could have, some kind of a natural disaster. So you just want to be prepared and be cautious. But whatever that is, right? Because it's happening at the time of the new moon, something new will be born from it. So it doesn't have to be a tremendous tragedy for that to happen, but there is likely going to be a noticeable shakeup. And whatever that shakeup is, whether it's metaphorical or a part of your actual reality, it's meant to move you on to something new and better for you. So we have that going on. The other thing we have that is supporting us having this new beginning, letting go of the past, especially letting go of relationships where we're not feeling valued, is the positive contact that the sun and the moon will be making to the nodes. So the nodes have now moved to 26 degrees, north nodes in Aries, south nodes in Libra. South node is what we already know. It's our strengths. And it's also what we're moving away from, because we've already developed what we need to develop there. We're supposed to take those lessons from the South Node and use them to help us move towards the North Node in Aries, our independence, our self-confidence, right? Our internal warrior. That's all that Aries energy is reminding us how strong we really are. And if you're in relationships that don't support your strength and your independence, you are seeing those dissolve. Those are happening in our personal lives. They're definitely happening on the world stage. Each week we hear of a new ending of a relationship, a divorce, right? With people who are famous, because that's when we pay attention, right? Is if it's happening to other people, then you can see astrology working, and it helps us connect to it more. So there's lessons there, right? Whatever we're willing to move on from at the time of the new moon helps us get onto our fated path, helps us pursue something that is for us. And when we're willing to have good boundaries and pursue the things that are in our best interests, not at the cost of other people, of course, you see rewards. That's the whole point of following the path. But it's still lessons. North Node in Aries is still lessons. So if we are off our path, then we get some reminders of that. So North Node is good. It's fate, it's destiny, but it's a little bit like Jupiter. And if you aren't paying attention, you will get a correction. It may be a little bit gentler, but it's still a correction, and it doesn't always feel good. So this is so important over this next 18 months that we have the nodes moving through these signs, that we're truly paying attention to what our needs are. A little bit farther away is Chiron in Aries. So this is, again, those wounds to self-confidence that we keep seeing, that we need to make peace with. Venus is speaking in harmony with Chiron at the time of the new moon. So whatever this is, this new aha moment for you, this new beginning, this new passion that you're pursuing, there's an opportunity for there to be some healing. And that is a wonderful bright spot during this new moon. All right, there is also, next to Mars is Mercury. So Mercury and Mars are both in the Earth sign of Virgo. There's lots of details being paid attention to when Mercury's in its home sign of Virgo. And as I mentioned earlier, the planet Mars is, speaking in harmony with Uranus. Well, we still have Jupiter there too, and Jupiter's a bit wide. It's sitting at 14 degrees, about to hit 15, and it is definitely having some influence, at least over Mercury, which will be going retrograde here very shortly. So all this information, all these details, they're what we need to pay attention to, because again, much like the Venus retrograde going on, there is going to be something that we also need to pay attention to, and the details are what's going to matter when it comes to Mercury. So this is time to get organized, time to create a budget, time to outline your plans. This is not a time for just letting things go. You really have to pay attention to what's showing up, and especially things that show up repeatedly are going to be really, really important for you to pay attention to. So Jupiter, even though it's pretty wide of the new moon and a bit wide of Mercury and Mars, still got quite a bit of an influence there, and Jupiter will go retrograde on the day after Venus ends hers. So we still have lots of internal work to do, and if you've followed me, you know I've been talking about that a lot. You can also go look at my article for the new moon in Leo. It will give you the breakdown of all of these things that I've just covered, plus a few more. It will help you also remember everything that I talked about. Sometimes it's easier if you're reading it, and it'll give you the breakdown by sign of what you can expect. So as we transition over into this next portion of the video, I'm going to pull a tarot card for every sign. And when I pull a tarot card, you want to make sure you're watching for your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. Now the rising sign is typically what we see showing up in our life. That's an actual event that we can attach to. The moon is something that you will feel emotionally, an emotional experience that you can have. And then the sun is something that you and your close friends might know that you're going through, but it isn't always visible to other people who aren't that close to you, but you know it. So by looking at all three cards, you can put those together and kind of see the story of what will unfold for you in the week ahead, and what house you want to focus on setting your intention. So when you set a new moon wish in Leo, so this is something I love and I'm passionate about. If, like this chart that you see in front of you, this is in your second house, the second house rules the money you make. So there may be a job or somebody that you worked with in the past who makes themselves known to you this week, or you reach out to them because you realize that that job was the one that you had where you felt the happiest. And so you want to get back to doing something like that again, or working with those people again. And when we love what we do, no matter if the money doesn't start out exactly where you want it to be, I guarantee you, you will get to where you want to be financially, because you're pursuing your passion and you're in alignment with that passion. So if Leo is your second house, you likely need to be doing work where you're a leader, where you're on stage leading other people. It could be something in the arts. Many people with acting, music, have strong Leo energy in one of their money-making houses, maybe even in their 10th house of career. But for your house that rules self-worth and the money you make, if you don't feel good about what you're doing for work, you will always be challenged financially. So this is a time where you're setting the attention with that thunderbolt of lightning. I guess is the best way to describe it. If you just want to blow away whatever is holding you back and keeping you stuck where the money you make is currently, making you feel trapped, use that Uranus energy in a way to help you break free. Set the intention for this square, for this surprise, to do it in a way that is beneficial to you instead of getting struck in the backside with the lightning bolt that has to get your attention. Don't make it get that. Make it something that you want to harness as best as you can. All right, so let's get ready to take a look at the cards. Up first, we have the sign of Aries. Aha. Aries, didn't I just mention this card? Apparently it's you who keeps us stuck and keeps me drawing this card every week. This card, right, is traditionally the devil card. It's called decision. And it is about making a choice. Are you going to continue to stay stuck and trapped by your ego, by fear, or are you going to break free from whatever this is? Now, Aries people, right, first house represents the self. This is about you and your goals and what you want. And it's also cardinal energy. So once you get started on something, you might have a hard time changing your path, but there is something this week that you need to see, and you need to actually make a change. Just because you started down this path and you're going to make a change does not make it a failure. It just means it's not what's meant for you, and it's okay to face your fear and move on from this. Now, this 6 energy of this card is making sure that you're pursuing something that you're truly passionate about and that brings you joy. Well, that's exactly what this new moon is about. It happens, of course, in your 5th house, and that is what we talked about at the beginning of this video, the things that you love, the things that you're passionate about, your hobbies, your children, your romantic partners, right? All of those things that bring you joy. And there is something that you need to get back to, in particular in your 5th house, that brought you joy in the past that you've forgotten about and that you've gotten away from. Maybe you've just allowed romance to die and you need to reignite the spark in your current relationship. Take advantage of that this week. Now, you, of course, have North Node going through your sign now for the next 18 months. So you are getting all kinds of lessons about your independence. Then you have that surprising Uranus energy happening in your 2nd house. So all of a sudden, what you are experiencing with the money you make, there could be a big change there unexpectedly. Change in job that surprises you, and as a result of that surprise, what you thought you loved or were passionate about is going to change. So be prepared for some major upheavals, especially since you have a Major Arcana card. But what's on the other side of that is something that is truly meant for you, so you don't want to miss out on it. Up next we have Taurus. Taurus, you have the 7 of Gabriel, 7 of Wands card. When we get this card, you are going to have to fight for something this week, which you are really comfortable with, but you're really going to have to dig in this week and put up a good fight and stand your ground. That 7 energy has you going within to really decide how best to stand your ground. This is something that requires careful thought, so just be wary of that and don't just charge ahead like the bull you can be. The other thing you want to consider is the fact that the new moon happens in your 4th house of home and family. maybe the stand that you're taking has something to do with the expectations that your family has over you versus the expectations that you have for yourself. This could have something to do with your actual physical home that you live in as well. So just be prepared for what you think has been providing you with safety and security to change in some way. And of course, that change can be a bit unexpected. When you have Uranus in your first house, this is you, maybe even surprising yourself with the choices that you're about to make and how you're going to be standing your ground. So there is definitely something interesting going on with you this week involving home and family. Just remember, what matters most is what you want and what you need. Up next, we have Gemini. Gemini, you have another major arcana card this time. It's the moon, and of course we're talking about the new moon in Leo this week. The moon is our emotions. It is what we need to feel safe and secure, and when the moon is dark, we get to see all those things that we are afraid of. Secrets get revealed. Remember, there's two sides to the moon. There's a light side and there's a dark side. And at this time, the moon's completely blank and dark, and we can see everything that's in the shadows that we don't necessarily pay attention to when all of the light is on the moon. Now, this is happening for you in your third house. This 18 energy on the card too is a 9. So there's something coming to an end for you this week that you, or at least you need to end this week in order for this new moon opportunity to show up for you. Now the third house could be a role that you play in your local community. It could be a way that you communicate. It could be a class that you're taking. There's something that you need to remember that you're passionate about that could even just involve learning, right? It could be your car, it's transportation, right? But whatever it is something that you've been putting off dealing with because of this fear that's showing up because of this moon card. So be open to connecting to your intuition in particular this week, allowing yourself to get quiet. It's so easy to always just stay in your head and logically try to think everything out. But I think the moon card this week is reminding you that others are there to help and guide you, spirit in particular. And this is an important week to pay attention to your intuition for that very reason, especially with Uranus in your 12th house. Like, this is messages from beyond that come up unexpectedly. It also could be that you work for a large organization and they could be deciding to move you, right? And that would cause you to have to set up something new in a new community, and it would make you walk away from the one that you're currently attached to, which would make you fearful. Lots of ways this can show up for you this week, but the most important thing you can do is tune into your intuition, listen to your guides, and know that all change happens for a reason and there is nothing to fear. Up next, Cancer. With the Queen of Gabriel, you may be feeling very passionate, right? The wands are about passion, which is what the Queen of Gabriel is. So this is a woman who is confident about the things that she is most passionate about. There is a level of security that you have this week because you know what you're pursuing is really important to you. Now, with this Leo energy happening in your second house, that's the money that you make. There could be a woman that, again, you've known from the past, who provides you with some kind of new opportunity that sends you in a new direction as far as your career goes. Something that you will be really passionate about, something that you've always been passionate about, and you're finally going to allow yourself to get back to actually doing that. With this surprise Uranus energy in your 11th house, this woman could be somebody who's a friend of yours, definitely a woman who's in your networking group that is going to surprise you with this job opportunity. So that sounds like a pretty exciting week ahead. And of course, the court cards are always carrying the energy of the number 1. So we've got a double energy of new beginnings for you this week, all in that second house of the money you make, the things you value. So go for it. Leo. So in this deck, this is the Peace card. In traditional tarot, this is the Death card. And the Death card isn't a card to be scared of. It just is a signification of the major transformation work that is going to go on for you this week. Now, of course, this is your new moon. You are Leo. You are all these things. Passionate, dramatic, attention-seeking, successful, fun, right? But maybe that is been dulled lately, and you haven't been shining as brightly as you should. And so at the time of this new moon, it's time for you to come back out of your cocoon, right? This is that moment of rebirth, this moment where the butterfly breaks out of that cocoon into this shiny, beautiful version of itself. And that's who you are this week. You are going to go through something major and know and trust that on the other side of it, there's just an incredible opportunity. Now, this is the number 4. So this is also the complete breaking down of structures that you have in your life currently that aren't supporting you in a way that they should. So that's pretty big week for you. Of course, it's a Major Arcana card. And the other thing that you need to consider and be aware of course, is the fact that you have that element of surprise that will come through from Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Now, of course, Taurus energy is also about finances, and in your 10th house, this could have everything to do with the money you make, what you're known for, what you're famous for, right? This is all of those things. So something in your career sector is very much a part of whatever this huge transformation is. So remember, when things die, it is intentional. They need to go away, basically, because they no longer serve us. And the worst thing that we can do is hang on to them desperately, trying to keep them alive. They've served their purpose, whatever this is for you, and now it's time, right? This piece of yourself that needs to be reborn, let it be reborn. Let yourself completely transform and come out on stage, right? No more hiding. This is your time and you are going to shine. And I really want to hear how this goes for you, so keep me posted, Leos. Virgo. The Six of Ariel, also known as the Six of Pentacles, is good news, because this is about a rebalancing of finances in your life. So wherever you're at on the scale of giving too much or getting too much, you're gonna find that if you've been giving too much of yourself, especially financially, or sharing financially with others so much, this is gonna be a week where people start paying you back, where you start realizing how much you're worth and allowing yourself to be paid for that and be receiving it. Now for you, the new moons and full moons, whenever we have the activation of our 12th house, it is something that we don't easily see unless we are really good and in tune to spirit, right? Because that connection to spirit is where we experience all things, right? In the 12th house, whether it's intuition, psychic abilities, connecting with the other side, all those things that we know exist, but we don't see them because it is, hidden from our view. Pisces rules the 12th house. It's things that are underneath the water, especially emotionally, right? So there is even the subconscious mind, which is a part of the 12th house. So there is this opportunity for you to awaken the subconscious mind this week and become aware of it and how to use it effectively in your life. So that's a great intention to set, especially using that subconscious mind to create, financial gains for you. Maybe you are like me, a hypnotherapist, and you will do something this week to revive that piece of your business, for instance. So really interesting opportunities, but you very much have to be open to guidance that comes through in a way that isn't quite so obvious. That 6 energy is joyful, happy energy. So it looks like, Virgos, you've got a good week ahead, even though this is happening in your 12th house, and you may not see it so much in your physical world, but you're definitely going to be feeling something that is in your subconscious mind, reminding you of all the wonderful, beautiful things that you have there to focus on. So make sure you're open to that opportunity. Now for you, this Uranus surprise energy is in your 9th house. So this is also a very spiritual house. It's ruled by Jupiter. It's an opportunity for growth and expansion that you did not see coming. But you are definitely going to enjoy the experience. So get out there, go big or go home this week is the message with Uranus in your 9th house. Libra. It's always so interesting when the energy is so intense and we get so many major arcana cards. So again, this is in the traditional tarot, the Hierophant card. In this deck, it's called Divine Guidance. And that is really an opportunity for you to be connecting with, it's almost like a social structure. Sometimes this is seen as kind of here, like it's a pope. It is getting a mentor, somebody who is a very wise teacher that can help guide you and almost, bring you in to becoming a part of something that has more structure for you. And with, Libras wanting to always have a lot of balance, this isn't a bad thing, right? This is an opportunity for you to become a part of something that has the structure and the balance that you'll appreciate. But you're definitely being given guidance from somebody with authority who definitely is trusted, and you do not want to ignore the message in any way, shape, or form. So when you have a new moon that is happening for you in your 11th house, that means that you might have this new mentor, new benefactor showing up to really help guide you on where you belong. The 11th house is our tribe. You know, it's where we fit in. It's where we make a difference. It's part of what we want to make sure that we are a part of so that we can help make a difference in our lives and in the world. So this is an important person that you're meeting this week that you do not want to ignore. You don't want to play small and think, oh, this is, nope, I couldn't possibly. Yes, you actually can. And so make sure you're open-minded this week and see this person for who they are and what they're offering you, and take them really, really seriously. With Uranus in your 8th house, this person might actually come to you with money that wants to invest in something that you are getting ready to launch. And again, you can trust it and the opportunity and the money, obviously investigate it. But this is a big deal for you this week, and it's definitely going to be something that you feel really passionate about. So the 5 energy on this card is about change. So things are definitely about to change for you this week, Libra, and take you in maybe a completely new direction. Next we have Scorpio. Come on, I really don't stack these cards, I promise. So we have you, Scorpios, with the Wheel of Fortune. And what that means is for you, the Wheel of Fortune is changing in a new direction, and it is a direction that you will really, really, really be happy about. That 10, of course, is the number 1. So again, we have this double message of new beginnings. It's a Major Arcana card, meaning this is a big new beginning for you. Now, this is happening in your 10th house. So this could very well be a new job opportunity for you. And it would be like a dream job, something that you're truly passionate about, where your skills are appreciated, where you're the leader, where you're the one making the decisions, and you just feel amazing about this opportunity and the work that you get to do. Now, what's interesting is, of course, the potential for surprise, where this opportunity may be coming for you, because this will have something or some kind of effect on your partner. So maybe this is you having to change partners from a business perspective in order to take advantage of this new opportunity, and it will shock you and it will shock people around you, but it's too good of an opportunity to pass up. So you absolutely have to pursue this. And remember, if we pursue what we're passionate about, the money always follows. So that is a pretty exciting week ahead for you. All right, Sagittarius, a fellow fire sign. I know I laugh at myself in these cards every time, but I can't make this stuff up. So Sagittarius, this is something that you are really going to love because you have the Lovers card. That means there's the potential for you to meet your soulmate. That is the potential for you to enter into a committed relationship. But if you have been seeking love, this is the week where that becomes possible. Maybe you're already with your soulmate and you end up getting engaged, setting your wedding date. Your heart is absolutely full this week. And of course, it's a Major Arcana card, so this isn't. If you meet this person, you will instantly know they are the one. There's just absolutely No second guessing this opportunity for you at all. Now, if you're not looking for love, or you're already with the one, you can't imagine anything else that you would need to know. Sometimes we see this card when we have a major decision to make in our life. Maybe it's in our relationship. And you want to, again, make sure that the choice you make is the one that benefits you the most and that will fill your heart with joy, right? The sixth energy, love, joy, happiness. So that is a incredible card. So I hope that if you are looking for love, you meet the one and they are amazing and that you have a lot of happiness going on. Now, with this new moon happening in that 9th house for you, that means that this could be, if you're looking for love, the person that you're looking to meet could be somebody that you meet overseas. It could be somebody who's from overseas. You could have an opportunity to travel overseas with them. So this is just a huge opportunity for growth and expansion in some way that comes to you as a result of this person, this soulmate who is in your life. Now, it could also be a very, very close friend that can be a soulmate. Maybe you've been feeling lonely and just really want that ride or die friend. That could be an opportunity for you this week as well. The Uranus energy for you happens in your 6th house of the work that you do. So it could be that there is a change to your partner's job that could cause you guys to have to make a big move and could put a little bit of a strain on your relationship. But just know, as long as you guys do whatever you do together, there is absolutely nothing to worry about. So go on the trip, enjoy it. And if there's anything chaotic going on in your day-to-day life, know it'll be there when you get back and you can deal with it then. Capricorn. All right, yet again, another Major Arcana card. And in this deck, the number 11 is the Strength card. What I always love about the Strength card is that this is a time to use your strength in a way that isn't forceful. It's just like you have this confidence of what you need to do and how you need to do it, and others respect you for how you use your strength. And it's just the way that you carry yourself this week that is going to make a difference to other people. Now, with a new moon happening in your 8th house, that house that rules over death and transformation, it is money and resources that we get from other people. It's our intimate relationships and partnerships. There's something going on in that realm, some dramatic change that's going on that is going to call on your strength to get through it. But you have it, so do not worry. Just stay focused. That 11 energy means there's actually even a portal opening to help you create the future that you want out of this change that is showing up for you. And maybe that's a reminder to get back to something that you love or something that you were passionate about in the past. Maybe this is about you reigniting the intimacy in your relationships and getting past anything that has had the two of you separating a bit. Now, Uranus brings the surprise element for you from your 5th house. So Capricorns, that could mean for you that there's some disruption that's caused unexpectedly by a child, and that, you know, causes you to have to change your mind about a path that you thought you were going on. Maybe there is some financial burden unexpectedly caused by a child that requires you to take on debt in order to help them out. just know whatever it is, as long as you do it and pursue it with love, everything is going to work out as needed or as expected. But be open, right? This is major change when our 8th house is activated, and you want to be able to let that change happen. Aquarius. The 6 of Wands is, again, good news, because there is recognition that you will be receiving this week that is well deserved. That 6 energy, of course, makes you happy and joyful. It's very loving. So make sure you're celebrating you this week. With the new moon happening in your 7th house of serious relationships, this is a new beginning, and maybe what you're celebrating is an engagement, for instance, between you and your partner. Maybe your business is going to receive some kind of an award, and it's something that you'll be celebrating. And when you do, this is going to really fan the flames in your relationship, so that you're feeling more passionate than ever about your partner, whether it's business or personal, right? It's like when you guys are on the same page, the energy is on fire, right? It's hot, and when you're fired up, you can really achieve an incredible amount of success. Now, that Uranus energy for you is in your 4th house of home and family, so maybe this new beginning for your partner causes you guys to have to move unexpectedly. But go for it, because this is a whole new window of opportunity for the two of you, and if you've achieved this recognition, there's a reason for it. So go for it. Let the move happen. Don't be afraid about it, and watch and see what new doors end up opening for the two of you as a result. And last but not least, we have Pisces. Of course, we are finishing off with yet another Major Arcana card, and the Leap of Faith is traditionally called the Fool card. This is what starts out the Fool's journey. So this is a complete leap of faith. You're heading into complete new territory this week, and you aren't carrying any burdens of the past with you. This is, the knapsack and the dog, a little faith and trust, and then heading off into a completely new direction. Now, that new direction happens in your 6th house. The 6th house is what you do on a day-to-day basis. It's something to do with your work, your health, your pets. This is being of service to others. Maybe you're going to take off and volunteer somewhere. Considering that you have the Taurus energy as your 3rd house, that means you have Uranus there. This could have you taking on a new role in your community, or something that's going on in your community is what's pushing you to make this unexpected change. This also is the house that rules your extended family. So there could be something going on within your family dynamic that is pushing you out. If you've been, for instance, someone who's lived at home far too long, this could finally push you to get out there on your own and doing things for yourself. Now, that North Node is in your 2nd house in the sign of Aries, and it is saying, hey, it's time for you to have those really good boundaries and start pursuing things, especially where you make money, that are about you and your power and your authority and you being in charge. So wow, you've got some huge changes. You may not even recognize yourself by the end of this week, but taking this leap of faith is the right thing to do, and you will definitely be glad that you did. As usual, an incredible mix of energy, but a heck of a lot of major arcana cards going on for the week. If you want to get into this more in depth, be sure and book just a new moon reading with me. It's a shorter session, completely affordable, and we'll really dig in deep. There's so much going on that even when I do write-ups, I can only focus on so many things at one time to just get you a general idea. But this week, as you can tell, just by all the different cards and major arcana cards that each of the signs got, this isn't something that is just going to be soft and quiet and not make itself known. No, this is a big week. Big changes are coming. Big energy is available to us. So it's totally worth the investment to book a session with me. Now, the thing is, with that new moon, you want to create your 10 new moon wishes within about 8 hours of total darkness of the moon to give them, the biggest oomph and potential. So for us on the West Coast, this is like 2:38 a.m. So you want to either do that right as you get up early on Wednesday morning, is probably the best way to do that. Or if you stay up late, you could do it right before you go to bed. But this is fire energy, and I always recommend you work with fire in some way, generate some heat, and get really passionate about what you're wishing for in order to, again, give them a better chance of coming to fruition. And a lot of times we see some of that happening within the first 2 weeks as that moon comes to fullness. So I hope this is an amazing week of major positive changes in your life, and that you all get back to something that you love and feel really passionate about. All right. I look forward to hearing your stories, because I know this is going to be an incredible week, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.